And a very good day to you, whether you be in Western New York, in the UK, in Australia, wherever you may be. Welcome to Cosmic Connections. I'm going to adjust my screen there. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler. I'm Agent 56 with the wonderful CIA, the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And we like to get together here on Wednesdays at this time. I'm just keeping to the Eastern Daylight Time right now, but I invite you to join in. Hello, Chastity. Good evening. Good day. Hello from Uruguay. Hello, Eugenia. It's so great to see people from around the planet coming together, like-minded people who love astrology, people who love spiritual work. And just when we see our names on that screen, we know we're connecting with each other. And, friends, if ever there was a time that we need to connect with each other, now is the time. And thank goodness for technology. Thank goodness for Zoom. Thank goodness for the juiciness and the brilliance of computers and connectivity across the planet. Thank goodness for the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction of 2009, which ushered in the era of social media. And the wonderful nature of mental telepathic connection using the bells and whistles of technology. It's like a mirror of our own physicality. And what we do here on Wednesdays is I take a look at the astrology for the week, but I want to remind you of the big goings-on next Tuesday. That's Eastern Daylight Time. Wherever you may be on the planet, which is a Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. And I've been very happy to be involved with the Cosmic Renaissance that's in process right now. Thank you, Cosmic Intelligence Agency, for providing a forum of every single possible astrological event. So if you're not a member of the CIA, consider a membership, because you have access to all the amazing videos and webinars and articles. And if you haven't gotten your download of Time Lords, check that out. The Cosmic Intelligence Agency is your one stop on the planet place for astrology, for wisdom from different astrologers from across the planet. I'm just one of many astrologers, and I love meeting with you on Wednesdays to meet and greet, and also just to connect. This is a time the planet needs connection. We're getting into the Aquarian. I'm not going to be so bold to say Aquarian age, but this is countdown to Pluto going into Aquarius, taking its tippy toes next February. It's the time when we are all struggling in some way, shape, or form. And what I want to talk to you about tonight, and this is the question of the week. That new moon we had last week, right? It was conjunct Chiron. And I have found just in, I guess it's 5 short days, that the Chironic wound is alive and well. And I'm observing that with my clients and my family members, even myself. And it's kind of like the wound of trying to strategize with our Saturn-Mars conjunction on Monday, how to strategize a plan to get through the mucky muck. Because it's been a very difficult, heavy week with the Saturn-Mars. So my question to you, is there something that you're strategizing, making a strategy for, making a strategic plan in your life to get rid and try to heal a long-standing wound? And I would even make this argument that the new moon in 2020 was also conjunct Chiron, right? It just happened, coincidentally to be conjunct Chiron back in March of 2020. And so it's almost as if all of us on some level are looking at our losses and looking at the I call it post-traumatic stress of the pandemic. And now we're fully immersed in another Taurus Scorpio concern, right? With the conflict in the Ukraine, the war, the atrocities, the horror of war. So all of us are trying to process a million things at the same time. But during this Aries cycle, with the new moon next to Chiron, it's whipping up strategies on how to take a look at, I call the narcissistic wound. What can I do in my life to make it a better life for myself and my family? What can I do for my fellow humans to make their lives better? I think there's a sense of frustration and impotence that we all feel when we see things going on in the world that is not reflecting the highest and best qualities of humans. And so during this Aries cycle, as we come upon the first quarter square, I think we will find a solution in some small way to take the reins and run with something in our lives and to make a grounded action to create something positive. All right. So welcome Alana and welcome Eugenia. Yes, on all the other sentient beings. Exactly. Struggling to strategize clearly. That's one of the things. Yes. 5 years waiting. Thank you, Alana and Laura and Shasti and Maria and April and Grego and Anne-Marie and John and Sheila and Monica and Mary Ann and Cynthia and Jacqueline and Maria and Debbie and Lynn and all of you, Vixie and Lisa and Lynn. Good evening, good day, Monica. And hello, my friends. I thank you for being here. If I didn't get to your name, it's because I can't see it in the comments. So this is how I see this week. I have seen a lot of friends and families, family members and clients come to my office, come to my Zoom with amazing anxiety that's been triggered back 2 years ago, that's coming into full flourishing. The idea that they are needing to make some plans and move forward in some ways to finally resolve a conflict, to finally resolve an insecurity, a fear. And I think that's part of this week's energy. And you would say with all the heaviness with the Saturn and Mars, it's almost too difficult. But I think, and I'm feeling with the sextile between the Aquarius energy and the Aries energy, there's the sextile opportunistic week energy potentially to find a plan to make it better, to find a plan to get through the loss and the longing and the difficulty. I think we've all had a collective experience of trauma. I think no matter how the pandemic touched you personally, I don't know, no matter how the war in the Ukraine is touching you personally, you cannot not have your heart open and wanting with all your hearts to connect with each and every soul on the planet and every sentient being and try to make a difference. So that is the theme of this week. And of course, it comes to this juicy crescendo when Jupiter and Neptune conjunct on Tuesday. And I think that's not the solution, but a solution that will be coming down on the planet. And my take on it is that just be open, friends. Be open to maybe doing some spiritual ritual on your own. Light a candle, take a bubble bath, pray, meditate, do something special for yourself next Tuesday at the conjunction. Find where the conjunction falls in your hometown. Again, I'm going to tell you the exact moment. And do something that recognizes the spirit behind the mindfulness. We have just been coming off the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction of 2009, and that was a download of beliefs regarding our mindfulness, the time of technology, when technology really, for the first time ever, flourished on the planet. There were no social networks, no social platforms, really, that we are aware of before these 2000s, right? So 2009, Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, and we're still at the last moments of that conjunction as this new cycle begins on the 12th. And that will be occurring, you'd think I would have had this memorized a million times, 10:42 in the morning, that's Eastern Daylight Time, 10:42 in the morning, and please make adjustments to wherever you may be on the planet. So my suggestion is make that day sacred, make that day holy, make that day a juicy one to be open to divine, numinous, creative intelligence. Tap into your own creativity and see what spark is being triggered. Meanwhile, between now and then, we have Saturdays, first quarter square. During the first quarter square, what do? We work, we ground, we center, we create a new template for ourselves. When that moon is in quarter, 90-degree angle, the prerogative is to make things happen in a new way and to have the courage and to have the fortitude to do just that. So we're going to go through everyone's charts, but I'm just going to share some slides with you for a moment because we're still, like I said, reminiscing about our woundedness from 2020 that's coming into awareness under the new moon in Aries, I do believe. So it's the promise of revisiting our individual and collective wounds in the next 3 weeks, and the losses and the yearnings and the longings. But because of the sextile to the Aquarius energy, using mindfulness and using the skills of logic and reason and using Aquarian tools, which are outside the box, right? If there's a solution, there's a problem. There's a solution to the problem, right? So that is being ignited within each and every one of us. So a question for you to ponder. What types of challenges are you facing this week? And how are you addressing those challenges differently? Are you thinking outside of the box? Are you putting all of your heartfelt energy into finding some people to help you? Because Aquarius is also humanity. Are you using technology in a different way? What are you doing? What are you strategizing to solve an issue that may have been festering for a while? It's like cleaning out an old wound. You have it already bandaged. You're ripping off the bandage. You're looking at the wound. You're saying, Chiron, I'm going to get to you and get down deep and fix what has been festering where you find Aries in your chart for some time. So this new cycle that we're all a part of that began last week on Friday is similar to when the pandemic began. And I can't speak for everybody on the planet, but I very vividly recall, because I was literally nursing a wound when the pandemic began. I had foot surgery. So I was perched in front of my telly, in front of my TV, nonstop media being ingrained in my brain during those first few weeks because I couldn't move, right? I could barely walk even to go to the bathroom in my home. I'm fine. It was just a minor surgery. But I remember thinking those initial promises that, at least where I am from in New York State, well, we're just going to lock down for a bit. We're just going to flatten the curve. No worries, anybody. And then that became not quite what happened. And then the losses and the tears and the difficulties. So in the past week, we might be revisiting that. We might be revisiting the first beginnings of the pandemic, and we might be addressing it differently. We might be using our Aquarius mindfulness to strategize in a different way. All right, so the first quarter square on Saturday, the Sabian symbol is the Venetian gondoliers in a serenade. This Saturday, we might be in a pretty dang good mood. And I'll just give you some timings here. Pacific time, that's U.S. Pacific time, takes place at 11:48 p.m. on Friday the 8th. And it takes place at 7:25. 2:48 in the morning Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday the 9th. This is like surrendering to the joy of the rebuild, surrendering to the joy of your strategy to face the challenges in front of you and to sing a new song, right? Serenade yourself. Maybe you could use this literally, like do some chanting, go out and hear music, but play as you're doing your work of rebuild. Hygeia is going to be opposite Uranus, right? So we might be get more medical truth regarding technology And whether that means the V's for the V's, or new ways or new technological wonders regarding taking care of our own personal health. Now, the moon will be at 19 of Cancer. That's going to be in conjuncting the Aquarius energy. And an in conjunct, I'm trying to act it out, right? It's like we're uncomfortable in our own skin. But the promise of this square is that fire and air work well together. They will be in sextile. This is an opportunistic week to get the job done. And then, of course, I mentioned earlier the countdown to the beautiful Jupiter-Neptune conjunction of Tuesday, the 12th. All right, friends. So I'm going to go through each and every one of the signs and give you a little bit of a nugget of where that rebuild might be falling in your own chart. Please understand, if you know astrology, you know your rising sign. Some of you might be tuning in. Astrology is brand new to you, and you just know your sun sign. But we'll do both, okay? So if you are an Aries, you're facing those life obstacles, or Aries rising, and before you manifest a solution this week with the quarter cycle, you're doing this regarding home and family. How are you managing your family relationships? How are you doing your connections with the extended family? And perhaps you're just wanting to rebuild something within your home, like literally clean or declutter or decorate in a new way to make a more appealing place to live. For Taurus or Taurus rising, this energy of the rebuild of the quarter cycle is about rebuilding your mind and your thoughts and your expression, your creative self-expression, tapping into your, I want to call it just your throat chakra. So you are coming from an authentic place and coming from a place of truth for you. For Gemini or Gemini rising, this energy is reminding you of how fantastic you are, right? It's in your second house of self-worth and value. If you are not able to make a living in a way that resonates with you, perhaps you start readjusting your job or your income. Or a good exercise for the Gemini might be to write down all of your skills and talents and own them, to really rise to the occasion and really celebrate all of your attributes. For Cancer or Cancer rising, this quarter cycle is asking you to come from a place of confidence and charisma and know that your loving-heartedness, your ability to nurture others and to be kind and caring and compassionate is more than enough. It's really focusing on yourself and your intuition. If you are a Leo or Leo rising, this quarter cycle is asking you to spend some time in retreat, spend some time in prayer or meditation or by yourself and savor that, rebuild that connection to yourself in the quiet, going behind the scenes. Now, Leo likes to be up front. This is the time of the year with this particular lunation. It's time to kind of go into the shadows and enjoy the quietness of your own soul's conversation. If you are Virgo or Virgo rising, it's almost the opposite. Get out there and connect with people, like-minded friends, like-minded associations and groups, and do the work. Be the volunteer. Take care of all those details to help people connect in a new way. If you are a Libra or Libra rising, this upcoming weekend with a countdown to the full moon, which is next weekend, is a time for you, Libra or Libra rising, to take a stock of how you want to be in the world, how you want to be a leader, how you want your career to reflect who you are, how to share your gifts without overextending yourself. If you're Scorpio or Scorpio rising, this lunation is asking you to get free, to maybe make some travel plans, to learn something new, to maybe teach something new, but really get clear on your beliefs and your ways of communicating those beliefs. If you're Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, this particular lunation for you is asking you to empower yourself, to become a little bit more aware of your psychological and your spiritual awareness, even your financial power, to take stock and to celebrate all the wonderful gifts that you have that keep you going, that keep you generating and renewing yourself from day to day. If you're Capricorn or Capricorn rising, the focus is on your BFFs, on your best friends and your significant others. How are you being a partner What would you like from a partner? And spending more time with your significant others. Aquarius or Aquarius rising, this particular lunation is asking you to take care of your physical self, to practice what you think you're preaching about taking care of health, mind, body, and soul, but especially the body. So movement and exercise and diet and nutrition is on tap to rebuild that for the Aquariuses. For the Pisces, time to play. Let your guard down, have some fun, have some creativity, spend time with children, spend time with a lover. The idea here, Pisces, is to savor the juiciness of what makes life matter, the fun and joy of creativity. All right. So big hello to you, lovely, lovely people. Angie and Sarah from West Virginia. Gardymore, wonderful, Monica. Hi, Kathleen. Thank you for being here. Ra, Marianne. April, I'm sorry to hear that, Marianne. Yeah, it's been a very difficult, like heavy, where that Aquarius, Saturn, and Mars have been. Sheila, all right. Yes, healing self helps to heal others, the wounded healer. Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful, Rose. Wow. What are you in store for? The Jupiter Neptune conjunction sits right in your natal sun. Okay. Well, be open to a more deep awareness of your internal spiritual gifts, for one. And that's such a strange, overused word, right? Spiritual. But I think what you'll be really in tune for is like a greater confidence, because Jupiter gives us confidence, and confidence that I'm not in this experience of life totally by myself. Whether you believe in a God or angels or spirit loved ones, you're going to feel a sense of renewed inner confidence, I do believe, Rose Ormsby. All of us. Okay. I'm glad you're here, Rose Chase. Hello, Alana, Laura, Edna. Thank you for being here, Cindy and John. And John, you know what? Yeah, I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with pretty much everything out there, right, John? Especially during this astrological time of things that are still erupting with Pluto. Pluto is the great eruptor. It works itself way beneath the surface in the sign of Capricorn. It's a sign of the elites, the power brokers, and that's been going on since 2008 in our lifetimes, but it has been peaking a lot in the past 2 years. What you see ain't necessarily what you're getting, and there's a lot more than meets the eye with pretty much everything. Okay. Hi, Mary and Louise. Big hello for you all. Chasing a Libra, learning a lot. Okay. Hi, April. That's a good comment. And you feeling that week. Beautiful. All right. I'll play the singing bowls. Great idea. The singing bowls. Hello, friend. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Maria, Eva, April. You're also kind for being here today. Okay. So now we do the spiritual mediumship. And I wear two hats, right? You're Agent 56 here. I identify as both an astrologer and as a medium. Let's put it this way. I have my right brain, my left brain, and I've been in these fields for many decades, and I love sharing intuitive guidance. In fact, we all can do this. We all are intuitive. We all have gifts of spirit, whether you call it the inner self or whatever you call the numinous, joy. I called it the bunny moment when I was little. I've always loved Easter. And I remember I was probably no more than 13 years of age, and I lived out in the country when I grew up. And so I would walk. I'd walk there in the woods and listen to the peepers. We call them peepers in the States, the little tree frogs that are mating during this time of year, or soon be. And when the weather warms up, you hear this beautiful croaking sound. So I used to walk in my neighborhood near the woods. And one time I saw this bunny. I was very young, and it was staring at me, and I was staring at it. And I had this amazing exchange with it. And I became aware of another being, an animal. And it was so profound for me because when you're a child, you're looking at the wonder of ordinary experiences with new eyes, because that was the first time I had an encounter with wildlife, you could say. But I call it the bunny experience. So all of us are going to have a little bit more of a numinous experience with something outside of ourselves. That's the promise of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, that we are not alone. Whatever you call that numinous, that spirituality, it is coming down on a planet near you on Tuesday, and it starts and unfolds a 14-year cycle. So be open to it, friends. Do some sort of ritual for yourself. Spend time in nature if you are living near nature, or spending time listening to music or art, or really ignite that happy place within you through prayer or meditation. So we're going to do a little bit of mediumship right now, and how this works. I close my eyes, I tune in. Don't notice my eyes go up to the ceiling, because that helps. A little nugget for you that will help with clairvoyant imagery. Whether you do that for yourself or for other people, you can put yourself in a certain physical state, and that will help enhance your ability to see. And some of us hear clairaudient, and some of us feel clairsentient. So I'm going to say my prayer and then just tune in. You have to be in the room, and I would ask you, if you want to get a message, to let me know. Please, I'd like a message, and then I'll come to you. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words to be filled with love and light and truth, inspiration and healing for the highest and for the best, as we align ourselves with the holiest of spirits. Amen. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Tahira. Oh, look at that. You're on the screen with me. That's awesome. All right, Tahira, I'm with you. I guess I can do it this way. I'm coming into your energy. And as I am coming into your energy, Tahira, the first thing that comes to mind is a true artist, that you might not give yourself credit because life has gotten in the way, but that you are always in the form of creating. And I'm seeing a lot of color around you. I'm getting mandalas with you. I'm getting jewelry with you, that you appreciate beautiful things. But when you see something beautiful, like a necklace or a bracelet or even a picture, you think, I would like to do something like that. So this is what I'm getting from Spirit, that you have stopped and started this creative passion that you have, or several creative passions that you have. And it's interesting when I do work with you folks here at the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, I often just dovetail to getting impressions that are astrological. So I'm not sure if you know astrology. I've just met you for the very first time, Tahira. But what I'm going to say is, I want you to take a look, if you don't know already, check in with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency or any other place or person that can show you where your Libra falls in your chart. Because I'm getting that you realize and you know instinctively that beauty is healing, and healing is art. Okay, the art of healing and art and healing are intermixed. That when you are around beautiful things, you feel healed. As we're going through, I'm getting a big circle around July for you this year. July, especially the end of July, first part of August for you, there's some breakthroughs. You break through and you're able to be more recognized for your gifts. Okay. And feel free to respond to me. I stuck you on my screen. I'm not sure how I can unstick you, because then you can respond to me. Oh, I guess you're right there. All right. I don't want to hide you, but feel free to give me any contact. But I'm getting a big circle around July for you this year. And it's almost like if there's been a training or some way to, and you also have a very strong left brain, by the way. You're also very, very, very analytical and methodical, and you're a fixer of circumstances. There's just like this creative urge that wants to come through for you. Does that make sense? Please give me some feedback. or not. It's okay. But this July period is when I feel you're on a journey, or it's something that's very Sagittarian. You're either learning something or teaching something, but it feels like it's both, that you're traveling to take some additional training to ignite your creativity. Okay. All right. Thank you. So everything resonates. That's what I like to hear. And I always say this, I mean this very, very sincerely, my friends. If it doesn't, I can't take credit or deficit. I'm just opening up the spirit. But thank you for the feedback, Tahira. And the other thing I want to say, there's music about your name. It's a beautiful musical name. And I'm feeling that there's a grandmother in spirit who used to sing you lullabies at night. All right. And that she's still with you, that she loved music, and she would have a beautiful singing voice. I'm getting singing voice with you too. But there's this beautiful, wise woman who's kind of watching out over you, and she wants to cradle you. Okay. All right. Beautiful. You are a creator, poet, teacher. Thank you for the feedback, dear heart. You're doing great. And by the way, if you're a Taurus, you well know that the North Node is moving sometime and conjuncting somewhere on your sun sign in the next couple of years. So whether that's happened yet or not, I feel it's really close. If it hasn't already, you're going to be meeting new people. They're going to help ignite your creativity to a larger audience. All right. So I leave that with many blessings to you. Thank you for allowing me to serve you, Tahira. All right. Shall we go on? We'll do 2 little messages when we work. Okay. John Julick. John Julick. And thank you for saying you'd like a message. And so I'm with your energy, sir. John Julick. John Julick. Just say yes, John. Make sure you're there. You're so welcome, Tahira. Okay. I want to remind you all, we all can do this. I've taken millions of classes on mediumship. And I also, FYI, okay, good, John. I have a lot of transpersonal or outer planets conjuncting my personal planets. So I've always kind of swum and swimmed, or I swum in Neptunian and Pisces waters all my life. So, but I'm here to tell you, I'm a testimony to share with you that we all are going to be experiencing greater downloads of our own personal spiritual intuition in the next 14 years. And we all can do this work. John, as I'm tuning into your spirit, my spirit is expressing this to you. I'm feeling a real sense of gentleman with you. Gentleman. You're a gentleman. You're a gentleman, but you're a gentleman. Like so many people respect you, and so many people think of you in terms of your authority. That you have this persona out there in the world of competence and professionalism. And in the past 2 years, it feels that you may have questioned your authenticity with that, and you're coming to a new revelation of having done a lot of, I want to use the word spiritual work, digging deep inside, because there was a dark night of the soul as we were in 2019, right prior to the pandemic. Dark night of the soul. I want to describe that for you, John, is that there was some loss, there was some heartache, and there was a sense of being alone. And I personally feel that when we go through a crisis, that cracks our soul to greater growth. So I'm talking about, I'm feeling October through January 19 to 2020. But as a result, there were other stresses and challenges, obviously, in 2020 and 21. But right now, you're ready to fly. You're ready to share with others your experiences in such a way for teaching moments. And if it feels this consultant is coming through, that you have a passion to assist and hold hands, but not tell people what to do, but to facilitate so they can do independent revelations on their own. That's what I'm getting. I'm so right. Okay, good. Again, I'm not taking, I'm appreciating the comments, but I'm glad it resonates with you, John. As we go forward, 2022 for Mr. John here is going to be, again, it's almost like you got cracked in this woundedness back then, and all the pieces are put back together again, and so you're on fire to help others. Now, the helping others could be just in your circle of friends and family, but it feels like it's more formalized. Again, because I get that beautiful authority, and the authority, the persona is like, it's like your rising sign is matching your internal planets. If you know astrology, it's like they're all coming together. You might even check your progress chart. There might be some things going on in your progress chart, which is blending this new version of John that's more powerful, more authentic, and it's coming from this place that's not ego at all. It's coming from a place of service. And I leave that with many blessings. Okay. You're very welcome, John. My great pleasure for John Breland and John Gillick. And absolutely, I appreciate you guys so much. I really, even if I'm in a lousy mood, I always look forward to seeing you on Wednesdays. Can I just tell you that? It was a tough week. It was a tough week for me. I had so many family members and clients under so much duress and so much stress. And so when that happens, guess who's got to work harder? On myself. I surely do, because I see myself as, the wounded healer. All right. Anyone know astrology out there? Chiron, exactly square my sun. Sometimes I wear the wound on my face. Oh, well, we're all here to heal our wounds. And that's the signal, and that's the message of this Aries cycle. And you just wait till next week. Oh boy, when we get that full moon, we're going to talk about that next week. And next week, we might even do a little meditation to send our beautiful heart, our beautiful soul, our compassion, our kindness to the world. Because as we send out, we too receive during the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. Can you tell I'm excited about it? It's opposite my Venus. So, woohoo! God bless you. Love you guys. See you next Wednesday. And enjoy the conjunction. All right. Spend a little time by yourself and just be in the wonder. Be in the wonder. See you next time.